Talk your shit, Grape. Talk your shit.
Shut up. He took my little sister for nothing, man. She do nothing to nobody. I came and see you, Jape, on me and bottle water. Bottle water, got your daddy.
Miss you, baby.
Miss you, baby.
I'd give anything for you to pull up on me this time, baby. Never miss a time.
Let me ask you something real quick. How long would you wait for somebody? 6 months? A year? Because Jeremy waited 4 years for her man to get out of prison. 4 years. That's a whole college degree. That's longer than most marriages last. That's ride or die energy. So somebody please explain to me why, within weeks of him coming home, she ended up shot in the head in her own car. And then explain why he's dead now too. Both of them. Gone. One from a bullet. One from playing Frogger with the Memphis PD on the interstate. And I'm sitting here with more questions than answers like that confused math lady meme. Because why did she post single but happy 50 days before she died? Who was the somebody she was meeting to get shoes? Was it really a jealous woman with a designer bag budget? And if her boyfriend did it, why did he visit her grave? If he didn't do it, what the hell was he running from the police for years later? This case has more plot twists than a Tyler Perry movie. And just like Tyler Perry, nothing about it makes sense. But here's what I do know. Somebody in Nutbush saw exactly what happened that day. They saw that MCM backpack. They heard that gunshot. They know the truth. But in a city where 141 murders went unsolved in 2021 alone, I guess we're all just supposed to play Helen Keller and act like we don't see nothing, hear nothing, and damn sure ain't saying nothing. Well, guess what? The dead don't snitch, but the living do. So Memphis, if you're watching this, somebody better start talking. This is Jeremy Kapples. And before we get into how she died, let me tell you who she was. Because she wasn't just another statistic in Memphis's record-breaking 346 homicides in 2021.
She know when we slide, we be saying not to sit no lies. She know that I got that shit she want to.
Me, you a credit done. You ain't heard of the latest coming. That like position, I ain't even had a script for me. I didn't go walking in with straight facts from me. I don't want to receive it dismissed.
She was a person, 25 years old, beautiful, smart, funny as hell according to everybody who knew her. And get this, she was raising her sister's 2 kids like they were her own. Not babysitting them on weekends. Not watching them when it was convenient. Raising them. Getting them dressed for school every morning. Packing lunches. Helping with homework. Playing full-time mama to children that didn't come out of her body. And her sister Candace said, Jeremy always wanted her own kid someday.
Yeah. Look, I just flipped the switch. Flip. I don't know nobody else that's doing this.
So this woman was out here being super aunt, dreaming about the day she'd have her own family, all while juggling college classes at the University of Memphis. Now, I don't know about y'all, but getting one kid ready in the morning is a whole cardio workout. This woman had 2. Plus, she's trying to get a degree. Plus, she's working. And apparently, she still had time to write love letters to a man in a cage. Baby, I can barely respond to text messages from men with jobs and freedom. But Jeremy was out here maintaining a whole relationship through a prison phone that charges $15 for 3 minutes. Let's talk about that for a second. Her man's name was Grape. Well, DBO Grape if we're being formal, but everybody called him Grape. And Grape had been in prison for 4 years. 4. I need you to really sit with that number because 4 years is not a weekend bid. 4 years is watching an entire presidential term from behind bars. 4 years is TikTok not even existing when you went in and being the whole damn app when you get out. 4 years is long enough to forget what good food tastes like. But Jeremy, baby girl held it down. Letters, phone calls, money on his commissary. Probably buying him ramen noodles and honey buns while she's out here eating great value mac and cheese. That's not loyalty. That's a subscription service to a man who can't even take her to Applebee's. And when Grape finally got out in 2021, she was right there to pick him up.
Damn. What? That's Grape near my feet. Oh. It gotta be gone, go live.
I am.
This them.
It's your lips. It's her.
Get out my way. Where Grape flag? Where Grape flag at, bro? All right. Big Grape, yeah. Big Grape, yeah. Big Grape. Big Grape home. Ain't no more free Grape. Big Grape free. Yeah. We put this on for you, Big Grape.
Free who?
Talk your shit, Grape. Talk your shit. Shut up. Big Grape.
Free who, man? Big ball out.
Ain't no more free my dude. Fuck.
Now that's the energy of a woman who waited. That's we made it baby vibes. That's I told you I wasn't going nowhere. Celebration. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, maybe this is one of those prison love stories that actually works out. Maybe they're gonna get married, have those babies Jeremy always wanted, grow old together, and prove everybody wrong who said she was crazy for waiting. But here's where things get weird, y'all. September 22nd, 2021. Less than 2 months before Jeremy died, she posted a picture of herself on Facebook. Pretty girl in a blue dress, looking happy, glowing, living her best life. And you know what the caption said? Single but happy. Single. Now. I'm not a relationship expert, but last time I checked, when you wait 4 years for somebody and they finally come home, you don't usually post single on the internet 50 days later. That's like fasting for Lent, finally making it to Easter, and then posting still hungry, might stay vegan. It don't make sense. Like baby girl, did we wait 4 years just to post single status updates? Was the reunion that bad? Did he come home and immediately remind you why you should have been on Hinge this whole time? So, what happened between the celebration videos and the single but happy post? Did they break up? Were they never actually together? Was she playing games for the gram? Or was something else going on that we don't know about? Because this timeline is giving me whiplash like a bad Tinder date. And before you all jump in the comments defending Jeremy like maybe they weren't official yet, or maybe she was just being cryptic. Okay, fine. But then explain to me why she ended up dead 50 days later. Because either this single but happy post was the truth, and Grape wasn't even the main character in this story, or something went very wrong very fast after he got out. Here's what we do know. By November 2021, something shifted. Jeremy's Facebook posts started feeling different. Not sad necessarily, but like she had something on her mind. Like she was carrying weight that nobody could see through a screen. Her sister Candace said later that Jeremy seemed normal that last week. Happy even. Making plans, taking care of the boys, going to class, living life. But November 11th, 2021 would be the last normal day Jeremy ever had. November 11th started like any other Thursday for Jeremy. She woke up, got her nephews ready for school, made sure their clothes were right and their backpacks were packed. She called her sister Candace that morning, something she did almost every day, just to check in, talk about nothing and everything, regular sister stuff. And then Jeremy mentioned something casual, something that seemed innocent at the time, but now feels heavy. She told Candace she was going to school, and when she left school, she was going to meet somebody to get some shoes. Somebody. Not my friend. Not this girl I know. Not even Grape. Just somebody. And shoes. In November. In Memphis. Baby, I've made questionable decisions over men too. We all have. But meeting mysterious somebodies for footwear sounds like the beginning of a Dateline episode, not a Thursday afternoon plan. Was it really about shoes? Or was shoes code for, I'm about to do something I probably shouldn't, and I need a cover story? Because let's be honest, nobody's ever been killed over a legitimate shoe transaction, unless we're talking about limited edition Jordans. Candace tried calling her that afternoon. No answer. Tried again. Nothing. Now, normally that wouldn't be alarming. People's phones die. They get busy. Life happens. But Candace said it felt wrong. She had this gut feeling, that sister intuition that tells you something ain't right, even when you can't explain it. So she hopped in her car and drove to Jeremy's house. And that's when she saw the police lights.
A loving mother, sister, and daughter now at the center of a murder investigation. Memphis police found the 25-year-old killed in the Nutbush neighborhood. The woman's family continues to mourn while police search for her killer in tonight's Manhunt Monday.
Around 6 p.m., Memphis police got a call about a shooting on Print Avenue in the Nutbush neighborhood. When they arrived, they found 25-year-old Jeremy Kapples slumped over in the driver's seat of her white Jeep Cherokee. One gunshot to the head, close range, execution style. No signs of a struggle, no signs of robbery. Just a young woman dead in her own car less than 2 miles from her house.
Please speak up for my sister, y'all. Please. It's hurting me. It's hurting my dad. It's hurting her mom.
And just like that, 2 little boys lost the only stable mother figure they'd ever known. A father had to bury his daughter. A sister had to live with the fact that the last conversation they had was about shoes. But here's where this case goes from tragic to absolutely infuriating. Somebody saw what happened. Actually, somebody's doorbell camera saw what happened. The footage shows a person. Can't tell if it's a man or woman because they're wearing a mask, walking away from Jeremy's car. Not running, not panicking, just casually strolling away. Like they just dropped off an Amazon package instead of catching a body. And this person, they were carrying a brown MCM designer backpack. Now let's pause here because this detail is important. MCM backpacks cost anywhere from $500 to $2,000. That's rent money. That's a used car payment. That's a whole vacation to Cancun. So whoever killed Jeremy either had money or they stole that bag or, hear me out, they wanted to make a statement. Because you don't accessorize a murder with luxury goods unless you're either stupid, bold, or you shop at TJ Maxx and got lucky. This is giving, I'm gonna kill you, but make it fashion. Energy. Like, Mom or Sir, did you coordinate your murder outfit? Did you plan this? Because killing someone in designer gear is insane levels of confidence. That's like robbing a bank in a 3-piece suit. Technically, it works, but you're making some choices.
The murder was picked up by a door cam, leaving the vehicle, so which kind of led me to believe that the person might stay somewhere in the area.
So he searches the area frequently, looking for any clues he can find. A tragedy no one can wrap their head around.
Jeremy's father, Jerry, has been walking those nutbush streets every single day since 2021 looking for that bag. Looking for that person. Looking for somebody who'll tell the truth. And I don't know if you'll have ever lost a child, but watching a grown man turn into a detective because the actual detectives gave up. That's pain that'll age you 20 years in 20 minutes. The Memphis Police Department called this case cold within a year. Cold. They said the footage is too blurry, the suspect wore a mask, and without witnesses coming forward, there's nothing they can do. Translation. We got 141 other unsolved murders from 2021 alone, so get in line. And that's the problem. Because this wasn't some random drive-by on the interstate. This was a neighborhood. Print Avenue. With houses, with people. With nosy neighbors who definitely peeped out their windows when they heard a gunshot. But when police asked for witnesses, crickets. When Jeremy's family begged for information, silence. When they offered reward money that eventually reached over $8,000, nothing. Now I've lived long enough to know that people don't talk for two reasons. Either they didn't see anything, or they're scared of what happens if they do. And in a city where almost half the murders go unsolved, I'm betting it's the latter. But wait, it gets messier. Remember Grape? The boyfriend? The man she allegedly waited 4 years for? Well, here's the tea. Police never named him as a suspect. Never arrested him. Never even publicly connected him to the case. Which is weird, right? Because usually, when a woman gets murdered, the first person police look at is the man she was with. That's crime investigation 101. But with Jeremy's case, radio silence about Grape. Some people say that's because he had an alibi. Some people say police cleared him early. But other people, and I'm just telling you what I heard, say it was a woman who killed Jeremy. A jealous woman. Somebody who was pressed about Jeremy and Grape's relationship. Somebody who maybe wanted him for herself and couldn't stand seeing them together after all those years apart. And honestly, that would explain the MCM bag. Because let's be real, most dudes fresh out of prison after 4 years aren't shopping at Neiman Marcus. But a jealous woman with something to prove. She might definitely have the designer bag, budget, and the audacity. But here's what makes this even crazier. At some point, after Jeremy's death, Grape visited her grave. There are pictures. He's standing there at her tombstone, paying respects, looking devastated. Now some people say, see, that proves he didn't do it. Why would a killer visit the grave? And other people say, killers do that all the time. It's called guilt. So which is it? We'll never know, because Grape is dead now too. Apparently, he was running from police. Don't know what for, don't know when exactly. Sometime in 2024 probably. And during a high-speed chase on the interstate, he jumped out of the vehicle on foot and got hit by a car. Let me repeat that. He hopped out of a moving vehicle on the highway like he was in a Fast and Furious movie. Except Vin Diesel has stunt coordinators, and this man had bad judgment and worse luck. Both of them gone now. Jeremy from a bullet. Grape from thinking he could outrun a Dodge Charger on foot. And the wildest part? There's no major news coverage of his death. No articles. No police reports that I could find. Just Facebook comments and street rumors. Like he died, and Memphis just shrugged and kept it moving. Man really said, I'm about to make my exit from this case and this earth. And nobody even wrote an obituary. That's tragic, but also kinda sus. So now we're left with more questions than answers. If Grape did it, why did police never charge him? If he didn't do it, What was he running from years later? If it was a jealous woman, who was she? And where is she now? And why? Why? In a neighborhood full of people, has nobody said a word? So now we're left with a dead girl, a dead suspect, who might not have even been a suspect, a whole neighborhood playing deaf and blind, and a father who's aged 20 years trying to be the detective that Memphis PD refused to be. This is what we call a cursed case. Not unsolved. Cursed. Because everybody involved with it ends up dead or traumatized. And Memphis? Memphis is just out here acting like 346 people didn't get murdered in 1 year. Like 141 families aren't still waiting for answers that'll probably never come. Like Jeremy's case is just another file collecting dust in some basement next to cases from the 80s that nobody gives a damn about anymore.
And tonight, a family searching for answers 2 years after the homicide of Jeremy Kapples. Our Zaria Oates sat down with the family about their search for the suspect and the grief they manage every day.
He took my little sister for nothing, man. She do nothing to nobody. I never think I'd put my sister in a casket, man. We just want justice for her.
4 years. It's been 4 years since Jeremy died. The same amount of time she waited for a man who may or may not have gotten her killed. And in those 4 years, her nephews grew up without their auntie. Her father turned into a street detective. Her sister screams into a void that doesn't echo back. And whoever killed her? They're walking around Nutbush. Maybe with that MCM bag, maybe not. Living their best life while Jeremy's been in the ground since 2021. And here's what pisses me off the most. Y'all want to know why these cases don't get solved? It's not because the evidence isn't there. There's doorbell footage. There's a distinctive bag. There's a whole person on camera. The problem is that in neighborhoods like Nutbush, people would rather protect a killer than be labeled a snitch. Because apparently, in 2025, we'd rather let murderers roam free than risk looking like we cooperate with police. And I get it. Trust issues with MPD are valid. The history is messy. The relationship is complicated. But Jeremy was 25. She was raising kids. She was trying to get her degree. She deserved better than this code of silence that's really just cowardice dressed up as loyalty. So let me be clear. If you're from Memphis and you're watching this, and you know anything about what happened on Print Avenue on November 11th, 2021, if you saw that MCM bag, if you heard that gunshot, if you know who somebody was, if you have even a crumb of information, you have two choices. You can keep quiet and let Jeremy's family suffer for the rest of their lives. Or you can call Memphis Police Crime Stoppers at 901-528 cash and do the right thing, because the dead can't speak for themselves. But you can. And if you're the person who killed Jeremy, sleep tight. Because karma has a funny way of catching up. Justice for Jeremy Kapples. If this story made you feel something, drop a comment. Share this video. Let Memphis know we're not gonna let them forget her name.